There may be many worlds. There may be many universes. But, while you're here, why not try to see the good in this one? Welcome to the CryptoNaturalist. Hello, listeners. Today, we're on the water, floating on a lake called Goldenrod in northern Minnesota. It's almost sunset, and I'm sitting in a lime green kayak. I've stowed my paddle, and I'm just drifting. It's amazing to see how much a lake like this can change, even in the span of an hour. Earlier, there was a texture to the water, ripples and gentle swells. The lake's surface was sort of like a cable-knit sweater. Now, it's all still. I'm floating along a dark sheet of glass. I'm about 40 feet from the nearest shore. Here, there's a broad line of wild rice hugging the land, and it looks like a prairie sprouted from a mirror. The rice looks ready for harvest, but I'm no expert in such things. There's a patch of lily pads nearby, and every so often they make a little popping sound. I'm told that sound is from the suction made by bluegill feeding beneath the plant, creating little pockets of air as they gulp down insects. Hear that? That's a loon call. One of my favorite birds. Like a black and white photograph of a water bird, but haunted with a bright red eye that seems to match their eerie call. Just lovely. Well, surprisingly, loons are not technically cryptids. They are fascinating. Now, today, I'm here to see the greater northern pondhawk, one of the largest semi-corporeal species of cryptid dragonflies. Pretty deceptive name, all in all. This is definitely a lake, not a pond. And the creature we're here to observe clearly isn't a hawk. Yet there is an undeniable poetry in the name Pondhawk. Dragonflies, like moths, have some truly great common names. Pondhawk, meadowhawk, darners and dashers, skimmers and pennants. It's a really perfect evening to be out here. I'm a little sweaty under this plastic helmet mic, but that isn't the weather's fault. See, I'm gonna need to shift to a telepathic mic once I spot the pondhawk because, well, I'll explain when the time comes. Anyway, when you hear a shift in the quality of my voice, that's why. In the meantime, I just gotta bob in the water and try to keep still next to the wild rice. Hopefully, I don't run into any shallow lurkers or torpedo muskrats. Y'all kayakers and canoers know what I mean. Hang on, there's a laminated piece of paper floating by. That doesn't belong on the lake. Let me just grab it. Oh, look at that. I think this is today's Hidden Lore segment. Today's Hidden Lore is a poem by Luísa Black Ellis. Rebecca Elson. This life is a merciless dinner guest, an impolite request, a fumbling run-on sentence, stumbling drunk around its meaning. Sometimes I wish there were at least a witness to the tight-chested nights I have spent with held breath, 2 fingers to the sublunar pulse, squinting at a slight figure that slips ever out of view with a ghostly chuckle and a curtain rustle. I am a confused but earnest animal, tumbling from a careless kick into this accident of stolen time. Please understand, I can't claim what isn't mine. I can't make sense of what a self is enough to decide whether it's better to be selfless or selfish. But when I remember a sleepless young Elson holding her breath and swallowing stars to stave off death, I feel small and ashamed, and want to stay enough to save someone, at the very least one, without witness. A beautiful poem and sentiment, and a lovely tribute to Rebecca Elson. If you don't know Elson's work, I'd recommend taking a look. The poem Antidotes to Fear and Death isn't a bad place to start. The sun is dipped beneath the tree line, which means... Wait. Oh, there she is. Okay, now stand by for... Whew. And that, friends, is why I hooked up this telepathic helmet mic before I went looking for the Pondhawk. You are now listening to my inner voice, because speaking aloud is no longer possible. See, this particular dragonfly can really only be seen in the reflection of a still lake. It appears to be about the size of a twin bed, with a body like polished green metal and dark eyes that seem to shine with stars, like a picture of deep space. The thing is, once you see it, it appears so vivid that the world shifts, and you find yourself floating on the underside of the water's surface, looking down into what is now the sky above. Now don't go worrying about me too much. I can hold my breath for a very long time. It's something I've practiced since I was a kid. I was always preoccupied with movie scenes in which the hero had to do something heroic underwater. I tried to hold my breath for the span of the scene. At first, I think I was trying to judge if it was realistic for the character to hold her breath that long. Later, I think it just became a game to challenge myself. Who knew it would come in handy during crypto-entomology outings? That beautiful, vivid Pondhawk is just hovering there, near the border of the wild rice. This species is one of those cryptids that is both inviting to scrutinize and feels a little dangerous to study too closely. It's kind of like turning something on the grill with your bare fingers. You can do it if you're quick, but no part of it really feels like the best idea. With this dragonfly's reality-shifting propensity, I'd rather avoid seeing my own reflection in the mirrored shine of its body. Not sure if anything would happen, but I'd rather not switch places with a reflection of myself on a cryptid's exoskeleton. Normally these Pondhawks stay for a moment and then zip away in pursuit of their prey. We suspect they especially like to dine on shadow flies, but you can imagine the difficulties in trying to observe such a creature's hunting behavior. This particular Pondhawk sure is lingering, which, well, could be something of a problem for me. Yeah, I can hold my breath for a long spell, but I'm really not looking to break any records today. I guess if it comes to it, I could try to poke up through the water's surface and startle the creature away. The problem is that I don't really want to risk falling through the water's surface and then continuing to fall into the sky, which now seems to be far, far below where I'm sitting. I think I may just have to wait and hope. Hang on a sec. Something strange is coming this way. Oh, it's a loon. Except, unlike everything else around me, the loon is on both sides of the water. It looks like a bird sitting on a mirror, but both the reflection and the reflected are looking about independently. The loon is real and alive and aware in both worlds, the upper and lower. Well, how about that? Even in the dim world down here beneath the water, the loon's red eye looks like a peephole into a crimson world of perpetual fire. Wow, well, that call seemed to do the trick. The Pondhawk just shot away, slick as a snake in a barrel of butter, which means... Ooh. Well, which means I get to be on the top side of the water again. Thanks for the help, friend. Oh, the loon just dove. Not sure if it understood my thanks, but it's not really the point of offering thanks, is it? Best to offer gratitude whenever we feel it, regardless of if the sentiment will be understood. Okay, well, I am soaked, and as much as I love cryptids, I don't really want to glimpse another Pondhawk at the moment, so I'm gonna start paddling my way back toward my RV. Until next time, we're all strange animals, so act like it. Thanks to Luísa Black Ellis for this week's Hidden Lore poetry. Luísa is a Brazilian-American poet and self-taught ecologist, methodically inspecting mosses in the traditional Nansemond and Chesepian territory. She lives a quiet and devotional life in a monastery with her husband, renowned interdisciplinary artist Jarod Ellis. Her loyalties lie with the lichens. Consider supporting her work with the Tidewater Solidarity Bail Fund by visiting 757bailfund.com.
To find bonus content and a variety of strange rewards, support our show by visiting patreon.com/CryptoNaturalist. You can also help by rating, reviewing, and telling a friend. The CryptoNaturalist is written and read by Jarod K. Anderson. For books and poetry collections by Jarod K. Anderson and Leslie J. Anderson, visit cryptonaturalist.com/books. You'll find information about submitting your poetry or prose for our Hidden Lore segments in the About section of our website at cryptonaturalist.com. This show is produced and edited by Tracy Barnett. You can find them online anywhere at The Other Tracy or theothertracy.com. Thanks to Adam Hurt for the use of his song Garfield's Blackberry Blossom from his album Insight. For more information on Adam's music, performances, and teaching, visit adamhurt.com. Reminder, transcripts of this and every episode are available at cryptonaturalist.com. Stay curious, stay wild, stay weird.
Postscript. I once read that loons have denser bones than other birds in order to negate buoyancy and help them swim underwater. Based on what I saw today, I'm wondering if they just contain twice the bone matter because they constantly live in two worlds. Hard to say.